Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are visiting the Plattsburgh Barracks Post Cemetery, also known as the Post Cemetery. So the Old Post Cemetery, last resting place of soldiers from this nation's war, 1812 to 1970. As you can see, it's all fenced in. I was looking for a way to try to get in, but it's all fenced in, so I'm going to keep looking and hopefully find a way in. So I found this opening, not even sure if I'm supposed to be in here, but definitely need to check this out. It is supposedly haunted by the Lady in White. Not much is known about her, but Lady in White. This cemetery is located on the old base and contains a monument for unknown soldiers of the War of 1812. There's 136 unknown soldiers buried in this graveyard. They were discovered while excavating around the barracks. So there's 445 persons buried in the cemetery. 163 known soldiers with markers stating so. 106 children, and the rest are wives of the soldiers. So it's pretty sad. So here to pay my respects. As you can see, the graveyard looks very small, but there's over 400 graves in the cemetery. So I was a bit surprised when I first got here and looked around, because it's not like the usual cemeteries that I had visited with lakes and benches and stuff. It's, it's very, basic, even though it's, part of history for the soldiers who served and died for the War of 1812. So a lot of the markers are empty, and not this one, of course, but a lot of the markers don't have anything written on them, and I'm assuming they've been washed off, or because these cannot be the markers for the unknown soldiers, because there's going to be a monument that I'm going to be showing in a few seconds right up here that is in memorial of these soldiers that are unknown but gave their lives. So just looking around here. Thank you for your service, Mrs. Sperling. This marker or gravestone had been knocked down. Peter Benson. And right next to this cemetery is the 1812 museum, which was closed, unfortunately, when we were visiting, as well as the old barracks, which they've turned into an inn and a restaurant, which we did eat at. We did not tape, unfortunately, but the food was very good, and supposedly that is also a hotbed for paranormal activity as well. And this is the monument that I mentioned for the unknown soldiers. Just take a moment to read that. As I said, if you look at the cemetery, it's very deceiving. It doesn't look like there would be over 400 graves in the cemetery, but there was. I've seen a few videos of drones flying past and showing the amount of graves, and it still doesn't reflect on this fallen flag here. I'm going to pick it up. Stand that up. No flag should be on the ground. Thank you again for your services, gentlemen. As I was saying, there's a few videos on here of a drone flying over the cemetery. I'm actually in the cemetery. Not sure if I was supposed to be in here, but I did manage to find a gate that was open and just went in really quick to pay my respects. Lots of history in Plattsburgh, New York when it comes to the War of 1812. There was actually some fighter jets just right next to the cemetery as well. Another beautiful monument right here. Even though it's next to the highway, it was still very quiet and very, very peaceful. I'm zooming in on something that I thought was strange at first, but it's an old lady sitting like in her electrical wheelchair, and I did know she was there to pay respects to a family member or not. But then I found out right in back of the cemetery is an old age home, and I'm assuming she was just out taking a ride. Again, the cemetery supposedly is haunted by the lady in white, and they do ghost tours in the evening. I'm not sure if they go in the cemetery, but they say they walk past it, because this cemetery is totally gated, all four sides, and the front gate that I showed earlier is locked, is padlocked. So I went around the other side to the barracks where the inn is and the restaurant, and seen an opening, and thought I'd run in quickly to visit and pay my respects. I love visiting historical landmarks, not necessarily cemeteries and graveyards, but historical landmarks, and this area in Plattsburgh is full of them, from this graveyard, from the war museum to the barracks, which has been totally renovated. Well, not totally, but it's been renovated from what it was before, where the soldiers were staying back in 1812, to an inn and a restaurant. So if you have a chance, definitely go and check out the Barracks restaurant. The name eludes me right now, but it's very easy to find if you just look up Barracks Restaurant Plattsburgh. So one last look at this deceiving cemetery. I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching.